I'd like to begin my remarks today with several stanzas from a poem that I believe speaks powerfully to this moment when our graduates are on the brink of stepping out into a turbulent world. In his book of hours, Rainer Maria Rilke wrote the following: "Let everything happen to you, beauty and terror. Just keep going. No feeling is final. Nearby is the country they call life. You will know it by its seriousness." Even on this auspicious day of celebration, there is no shying away from the fact that you, the class of 2025, are stepping out into that country called life at a tenuous moment. Any account, and we've heard several, of recent events, whether local, national, or global, speaks to a pace of change and disruption that can be hard to process, let alone keep up with. A world of consequence and urgency. A moment in so much of what we have taken for granted appears up in the air, and at the same time, very ground seems to be shifting beneath our feet. Beauty and terror, crisis and opportunity at once. Even still, on an occasion such as this, we tend to experience all the feelings, full of seriousness to be sure, but also of hope. I've spoken to a fair share of seniors, more perhaps than in previous years, have shared a certain sense of sadness, a sense of loss at leaving this place. Yet most certainly on a day like this, an abundance of joy. Rilke reminds us that none of these feelings are final. And we would do well to remember that this is as much a new beginning as an end. So amid this flood of feelings, and I might add my own feelings of pride on your behalf, on seeing you on this morning in your Columbia blue, I found myself returning to a basic question that informs what will be my very brief remarks. Who are we becoming? I don't presume to have the answer or answers for our campus, for the city, for the nation, or for the world. I ask this question in earnest today myself. I invite you to do the same. While you're still students in the college, I want us to linger with this question for just a few minutes. Though a bit vague in isolation, it takes on a far more poignant meaning when posed in our current social context. That is, when the we speaks to the communities and institutions we claim, in which lay claim on each of us as individuals. In Democracy in America, that sweeping and ever more relevant examination of 19th century American society, you all recall the text. You should. You read it during your sophomore years in contemporary civilization. Alexis de Tocqueville writes the following: "Without common ideas, there is no common action. And without common action, men still exist, but a social body does not. Our society, at any level you choose to define it, cannot function without some shared frame of reference. What then results when we lose our ability to recognize some common principles, something shared across our differences? If we fail to consider our mutual responsibilities, the question of what we owe to each other, or to recognize that the I must be understood in relationship to the we. Each of us is left with a mix of insular ambition, narrow self-interest, factional striving. If this sounds all too familiar, whether in the context of our campus community or some larger stage, It's a situation which each of us bears some responsibility. How do we find a path forward? What options are open to us? Which are closed? And what possible futures will be foreclosed if we fail to apprehend the we? The Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. in 1967 posed the question most simply: chaos or community? There are no easy answers to these questions, to be sure. And just as there's no quick way to skim through the lit hum syllabus or shortcut to the graduation stage, although many have tried, it takes time. It takes work. It takes an inquisitive mind. And it takes individuals willing to listen to one another, a willingness to accept that our own assumptions may be incorrect. It takes patience and an openness to the possibility that strangers who embody every imaginable kind of difference, even purported adversaries, can find and pursue a common purpose. This is the power of the idea that this community, this academic community, holds. A vision that is as socially inclusive as it is intellectually expansive. That we can both simultaneously pursue dangerous ideas and be committed to making sure that all of us feel and are safe. It takes students like you seated before me who come from all across this nation and all around the world from every walk of life. The process of learning and living together, indeed the process of learning to live together in the face of our myriad differences and of learning to thrive in this place, a place defined by the fact of its plurality and our professed global aspirations, is neither simple nor direct. It can, at times, be a struggle. But Plato in the Republic reminds us that nothing beautiful without struggle. If I, and I am a child of 90s hip-hop, we're reminded of the words of Talib Kweli. He improvised on Plato and called us to pursue a beautiful struggle. Indeed, the complexity and conflicts that delimit the path that you have been on, that is at this place, is as much a part of your education as time spent in the classroom, in labs and archives, on internships, or studying abroad. You have had 4 years to immerse yourself in the ethos of this community, a shared context that I hope has been defined by balancing, amongst other things, the pursuit and pulls of academic excellence, of civic engagement, and of your own well-being. It took time, as Thomas reminded us, to find your way. You had to be patient with yourself, with each other, with your instructors, and with this place. But you are here. You are here this morning, and we are here together. The place itself evolving as much as each of us has changed. And we have each and also been transformed by this time and by this place. The degrees you are receiving, the knowledge you have gained in your majors, your concentrations and minors across the arts and sciences and beyond, and the habits of mind you have been asked to develop through the core curriculum, is a product of the kind of common action, common ideas, and common purpose that de Tocqueville chronicled. Perhaps better put, a shared set of questions. The I you are today is a product of the we represented under this tent. The role you have played in each other's success did not require you to agree with one another or even to agree with what you were being taught. In fact, it required you to disagree, to challenge one another, to interrogate your instructors and even this institution, and to learn from these experiences. And above all, I hope it required you to respect one another. That your achievements today are both individual and shared, and I and a we at once, is something you will grow to appreciate more and more in the years ahead. And so, after you cross this stage in just a few minutes, and your degree is conferred tomorrow at commencement, you will step out of this context that you have come to know. Columbia, as many of us have said this morning, is not a simple place. And the world beyond the gates, as we say, is orders of magnitude more dynamic, nuanced, and complex, filled with beauty on a different scale. I hope you will stay patient. Not patient in the face of injustice, not complacency with the state of the world. I know we expect that you will continue to struggle to make this world a better place. You are lions, after all. We heard that roar. And with that roar, this struggle also demands of you patience and grace, which requires us to stay open to the possibility, to new possibilities, to unanticipated possibilities, to paths that we could not have anticipated, a precondition for the building of common ground. My hope for you is that you will be patient with and extend grace to the people you encounter along the way. Good people get it wrong every single day. People of integrity don't always make the best decisions, yet outward appearances, even our best efforts, only tell a part of the story. Not one of us is not in the process of becoming. None of us here today know who you or who we will become as the years unfold. None of us gets to choose the time they live in. We cannot anticipate what the tides of history hold or what tomorrow will present. Things can turn on a dime. But I do know that you and that we have the tools to build a life, to build lives of engagement, of achievement, and sustained learning. I know that you and we have the capacity to forge a common purpose even in times as uncertain or as unprecedented as these. We, the faculty and staff on stage, and also your families, have seen you do it. We have been witnesses to your beauty, to your boldness, and to your brilliance. None of us gets to choose the terms of the time and place that make us, but we do get to choose the patience and grace in the face of so much beauty and terror, as Rilke put it. We can choose to recognize the I we hold in our mind can only thrive as part of the we that defines our shared predicament. Each of us and all of us together, we get to choose who we are becoming. It's my firm belief that before me sit the leaders, the thinkers, the principled actors who will forge a brighter future, even in the face of all that confronts us. I say belief and not merely hope, because throughout Columbia College's long history, those who came before you have done just that. And so, class of 2025, I leave you with my most sincere salutations, with confidence in your capacity to face forward with grace, and with my deepest respect, congratulations, and good luck on the journey away.